3 weeks before my wedding, my little sister announced she was pregnant with my fiancé's baby. My parents defended her and handed her my whole wedding like it was hers. Yeah, right. I was 28. Venue booked, deposits paid, dress hanging in my closet. My sister was my maid of honor, which felt like progress until that Thursday dinner at my parents' house. My dad wouldn't meet my eyes. My mom kept twisting her hands. My sister stood up mid-meal, touched her flat stomach, and said she'd been sleeping with my fiancé for 6 months. Pregnant. By him, my fork clinked onto the plate. My mom gasped, but stayed silent. My dad told me to calm down while I was shaking and choking on air. My sister's face was blank, like it was no big deal. I ignored my fiancé's calls and cut him off. 2 weeks later, my parents picked her. These things happen, they said. Then my mom asked if my sister could use my venue and vendors since it would be a waste to cancel. I said no. They did it anyway. 2 months after my wedding date, my sister walked down my aisle pregnant at the garden estate I paid for, with my flowers and my menu. Family posted smiling photos. I sat alone, staring at my dress like it belonged to someone else. So I cut them all off, blocked numbers, moved, started over. Years later, I met my husband. When we struggled to have a baby, I spiraled hard. I even said maybe I was being punished for cutting my family off. He grabbed my face and said, "Don't you dare give them that power." Then my dad called after 4 years and begged for one dinner. I agreed, because I wanted to know I'd tried. My sister showed up with 2 kids who looked exactly like my ex. Dessert hit the table, and my mom asked if we wanted kids. My sister laughed. Good luck with that. She smiled at me. I heard you're having trouble. Then she added, casual as a weather report. I'm 12 weeks. Again. After that, everything went slow. First, my dad stared at me like I owed applause. Next, my mom smiled like she'd won. Then my sister rubbed her stomach, smug. After that, she looked at my husband, not me. Next, she said, "You're so patient." Then she purred, if my husband couldn't give me kids. And finally, she smiled like she was offering him a deal. My husband stood up, chair scraping. We were leaving. My mom grabbed my arm and whispered, "Please don't ruin the evening," like I was the problem. I looked at my sister. You stole my fiancé. You stole my wedding. And you're still trying. She rolled her eyes. Get over it. My sister leaned toward my husband and said, sweetly, if you ever get tired of waiting around for damaged goods. I smiled. You're pregnant with your 3rd kid in a marriage that's rotting and you're still hunting for attention. We walked out. I didn't look back. 2 weeks later, I posted the story in an anonymous estrangement group. No names, no city. It leaked anyway, and my sister became a local punchline. She even tried to sue me for defamation. It got tossed. Then I got pregnant, finally. And instead of celebrating, I kept checking her fallout like it was oxygen. My husband shut my laptop and said, "She's still controlling you." Years later, I saw my nephew 7 now being mocked in a parking lot while my mom counted change for groceries. Kids were laughing about explicit photos of my sister that had spread around town. Watching that child sob didn't feel like justice. It felt like poison. That week, my son asked, "Do I have an aunt?" And I lied. No. That night, my husband said, "You're becoming what you hate." Then my dad called again. Pancreatic cancer, stage 4. My mom had months. I agreed to one hospital visit and ran straight into my sister and her oldest in the waiting room. He stared at me and blurted, "You're my aunt, aren't you?" I swallowed hard. Yeah, I am. My sister ran off crying. I sat with that kid and talked about being scared because none of this was his fault. My mom died 2 months later. At the grave, my sister whispered, "I destroyed everything." I said, "And I tried to destroy you back." I handed her a letter I wrote when I got tired of hating. Not forgiveness, just truth. 3 years after that, my dad turned 70. We ended up in the same backyard. Our kids played together. My sister stood a few feet away. "We'll never be sisters again," I said. "I know," she replied. "But we don't have to be enemies." I watched the kids laughing in the grass and thought, maybe that's enough. What would you have done? Cut them off forever? Or learn to coexist?